Hey, what's up, everyone? It's been a couple weeks since I last did a BRAP rant, but I felt like one was long overdue, especially after the release of Sea of Thieves, which came out this past Tuesday. The much anticipated rare exclusive on the Xbox One console. And I have a special guest joining me tonight. I have someone who has been a big supporter of the podcast and somebody who is in the BRAP live chat on many Wednesday nights. We have Chief Tame. Try to do it like South Park. Didn't come out right. Chief, what's going on, man?
You almost had it.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing much, man. Just chilling. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Thank you again for joining, man. I kind of threw an invitation out there and you were like, "Hey, I'm down if you're open to having me on." I was like, "Hey, absolutely." So,
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah, I think
I'm all about Sea of Thieves, brother.
yeah. So this should be an interesting discussion. And look, I'm not here to. This isn't a let's bash Microsoft or Sea of Thieves podcast. This is more of a hey, let's just have an honest conversation here. Let's
Yeah.
let's not damage control. Let's just have a real conversation. Because look, I don't have an issue with people liking this game. You like what you like, right? Some people
hmm
swear that McDonald's is has the best burgers. I particularly don't agree with that. But if you do, hey, more power to you, right? But
Right.
I will say that it's okay to be critical of things, and this is something that I've tried to, um, I don't want to say preach, but more or less preach, I guess, um, on this podcast that hey, you know what? Yes, we're gamers, but we're also consumers, and we should never ever forget that we're consumers, considering how expensive gaming is. I mean, Chief Tommy, man, you must. I mean, you know how expensive gaming is. You're a gamer, you know.
Oh yeah.
You've probably spent, if you had to guess, how much you think you've spent this console gen?
This gen?
Yep.
1,000 plus. Easy.
So you said 1,000 plus.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what, and that might be a conservative estimation or guesstimation.
Yeah.
There's people that have spent more. I mean, I know, B Money has probably spent shit. I mean, I think well over 2,000 on Xbox consoles alone.
Damn.
I have an X, I had an S, and then I had a launch Xbox One. So you can do the math there with that. And I also have a
Yeah.
PlayStation 4, and I also have a Nintendo Switch. And that doesn't include additional controllers. It doesn't include software. I mean, it's an expensive hobby to say the least, and we should always be consumers first. We shouldn't. If something's bad, if
hmm
something's not working, if we don't like something, you know what? It's okay to voice that opinion. I think a lot of the times people they get scared to voice their opinions because they don't want to be shunned by community. But you know what? I say fuck all that
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's your money, and if you're not happy with something, it's okay to voice your opinion. By the way, big shout out to everyone in the live chat. We have irrelevant fraud in the live chat. We have Don Julio. What's going on, man? He's talking about yogurt or something. I don't know what that's about, but
Yogurt. What the hell?
yeah. So I don't know. But hey, Chief, I'm getting a little bit of like feedback or something, or like wind. It sounds like in your mic. So it
Uh,
sounds like you're outside.
I
Maybe
just got
having.
the mic in my mouth.
That's too funny. Yeah. So
Is that
want
better?
to make sure. Yeah, it's better. Want to make sure people hear you. Yeah. Um, so here we are. So okay. So I would say most reviews, but there's reviews trickling in right now. Looks like Metacritic right now we're at a 67. Um,
67 now. Really?
yeah, is yeah. Actually, you know what? Let me double check
It was a
because last
71 like 4 hours ago.
Actually, you know what? Let me check, man, because it could be 71. Now, let me just double check. I don't want to give any wrong Metacritic numbers because
Mhm.
I'll get taken to task on that by people online. Oh, what do you mean it's a 67? Like it's a 71
Yeah.
on Metacritic, man. Get it right.
Oh, it's gonna go down though. I guarantee that. I read some of the reviews that haven't gone through yet. Oh
Yeah.
man.
All
They're
right.
all saying the same thing, no content.
Metascore 71 right now. So I mean that I think that's probably a fair Metascore for the game. I don't think. Okay, so here's my thoughts on Sea of Thieves.
Hmm.
I don't think it's a great game. Obviously, there's a lack of content. Um,
Agree.
Nothing changed from the beta. Now, Chief, were you in the beta at all?
Oh yeah. I was in the alpha for a year. I was in all the betas. I was in the open beta.
All right,
I
so let
was
me
in
ask
it,
you.
bro.
So let me ask you something, man. So from the alpha to the beta to full retail, have you noticed anything differently? Like, are they any? Obviously, there's
Not
probably
really.
okay. That answers my question. so, so you, so it's
One
been
merchant, okay?
one merchant. So it's been pretty much the
The
same game
Kraken.
since alpha, or the Kraken.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they added the raids and all that, but they didn't really add much. I think they added 3 gigabytes. I believe the game is what, 10 gigabytes or
Something like
nine
that.
something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and on the Xbox One X, it's 18, I believe. But the closed beta was 9 gigabytes, I believe. So they
Mhm.
didn't really put that much in. Actually, I think it was 8. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I was kind of late arriving to the party with the beta. I got into the beta. Aaron Greenberg actually was nice enough to send me a beta code, and
nice.
I got in, and it was okay. But then I kept thinking because so Eric Jackson was in the beta, and he's like, Enrique, man, he goes, I don't know, man, because maybe I'm missing something. Like I'm not getting this whole concept of Sea of Thieves. It just doesn't
Hmm.
seem real exciting to me. I've been playing by myself. I'm like, that's probably the problem, man. You're playing by yourself. Playing by yourself is never fun. Wink, wink. Um, you
Yeah.
know, and so I said to him, I said, try playing with a group of people. So he found some people on his friends list that were in the beta, and he got into a game with them, and
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, okay, it was okay, but I don't know, man. Like it was fun, and then like 10 minutes later, it was kind of like, eh. He's like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just not my kind of game.
Hmm.
I
A lot
get
of people
into
are saying that. Like,
it.
this game is for a certain demographic, which is sort of true, but sort of not because it's an action adventure game. It's not a RTS or whatever. It's for the majority of the demographic.
Well,
Am I
you
wrong?
yes, no. I mean, I think that genre of open world sandbox RPG MMO, whatever you want to call it. I mean, look, I mean,
Hmm.
it's clearly a genre that has had some success, or if you want to call it
Oh
a
yeah.
games as a service game. There's other games over service games that have had success.
Hmm.
Look, I mean, for all the shit that Destiny 2 gets, it's been fairly successful this console gen. We first Destiny was
Yeah.
fairly successful. Overwatch we all know about the success of Overwatch. Um,
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, I could go on and on, but I guess Tommy, like you, man, like I just there wasn't a lot there to hold me to keep me engaged in the game,
Hmm.
and here we are, full retail. The game comes out, and I'm like, and look, man, I'm telling you, I brought this up, man, and people, and this is look, this has got to stop. Like the part that kind of bugs me a little bit is when I voice some of these concerns about the game in beta, people are like, "Oh, well, it's just a beta." Oh, okay. Well, I
Hmm.
understand that, but a beta, I play the Titanfall beta, and there's
Yeah.
plenty of meat to that game. For all intents and purposes, PUBG is in beta, or early access, but it's really beta, I guess. We can argue that, but um,
Hmm.
that game,
Battlefront 2
yeah,
beta.
Battlefront 2, but yeah. So it's what's up, Frankie? Frankie says hashtag BRAP NLG Brotherhood 2.0. Yeah. um, we'll talk later, Frankie. Big shout out to Frankie in the live chat.
Ricky. Oh,
So,
my dude.
so Chief, so you were in the alpha. So this is the part that kills me. Like, you were in the alpha, and you're telling me, well, nothing really much changed from the beta, from the alpha to the beta, and then from beta to retail. Yeah, they added a couple few things. The Kraken, the three factions. They added snakes. You know, we got snakes now on the islands.
Fish. They added
Fish.
like 2 or 3 fish types and 1 bird type.
And so
I believe they added pigs too. I don't think that was
no, they did. Yeah, I don't think the pigs were. I don't think the pigs were. Were they in the beta?
No.
Yeah, they were in the beta. I think. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyhow, so I bring up these concerns, Chief, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not so sure about this game. I'm not so sure if this is something that.
How dare you be honest?
Yeah, pretty much. and you know, I had people saying, you know, oh, people are going to be eating crow when this game comes out. It's going to have free factions. It's going to have a Kraken. Wait till you see the Kraken.
Factions. Stop with the factions. It's not factions. The dev has made that clear. It's not factions.
Well, what are they? They're not. Maybe I'm calling it fake.
They're just merchants.
Merchants. Okay. So you know you have to you have like 3 different quest lines that you can take on. You have the what is it, the gold hoarders.
There's 4 actually.
Is there 4?
Yeah.
Oh, see,
you
that's
have to
how
be
much.
Level 50 across all the merchants to do the.
Oh, you become legendary. Yeah, because that's when you become legendary. Yeah. Okay, but the onset of the game though, it's 3.
Yeah.
So, and you progress to 4. So, so I was told like, oh, you're going to be eating crow. You know, wait till you see all this content. We had Dealer Gaming on this past Wednesday. Big shout out to Dealer. And Dealer was like, yeah, we discovered the Kraken. And I'm like, sweet. What did he look like? And he's like, sea dicks. And I'm like, sea dicks? What does that mean? He's like, well, you go underwater and you don't see the Kraken. You just see a bunch of like black mist. Which, if you know, like the Kraken is a just giant size octopus.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, and they, and the octopus, release like, what is it, like black liquid in the water? I don't know what it is, ink, whatever.
Is it? Oh, okay.
In real life, they do that. Yeah, they eject like black ink.
I know they do that in real life. I didn't know they did that in the game though. That's cool.
Yeah, in the game. Yeah, so if you go underwater, you can't see the Kraken. There's no Kraken body.
Yeah, I've seen screenshots of that.
So,
anyways, go on.
So here we are, right? So, game comes out, and you've been in the alpha, the beta. You can attest to this, Chief, and so people don't think that you're a hater or anything.
No.
I play a little bit of beta, and so Chief, you did you go out and buy this game?
Yep.
Okay, so you bought $60, right? You turn it on.
I also got I got the rare hardcover signed book too.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you get the retail game, you pop it in, you start playing. What are your impressions? Like, what's going through your mind?
I wasn't surprised really, because in the alpha they hardly added anything, and there was suggestions in the forums for like mini games, social hub, fishing. Everybody's asking about fishing, and they just they're making up excuses not to add that stuff, which is basic mechanics,
So what kind of
basic stuff?
What kind of feedback do they give you guys? Like, as you guys are like suggesting things, like, were they like, yeah, we're probably not going to add that, or like, yeah, that's cool, maybe we'll add that. Like, did they give you guys any like feedback, any response, like to some of the suggestions? Okay.
No, they didn't.
So,
I think if a suggestion gets a lot of likes, they would look at it.
So the fishing thing, like, would be cool, right? It's another thing you could do. Shoot the shit, whatever.
Yeah.
So I got to be honest with you, man. I was surprised when I got Game Pass, and so I need to spend $60. That's the other thing. People are like, oh, well, people shouldn't complain because you can play it for $10 on Game Pass. People, do not damage control that way. Stop setting that precedent that something's okay because you're paying $10. Like this is the part that frustrates me. And you tell me if you agree with me or not, Chief. When did we become okay with games being released, either broken or incomplete? Like, when did that become an okay thing? And why are people okay with that?
I have no clue. I think it was this gen it started.
Like, no one should be okay with that. Like, and this is the part. So, I wanted to call this Sea of Thieves stop damage controlling. But I knew people would get all sensitive, so I said, you know what? I'm just gonna call this Sea of Thieves an honest conversation, because this is what this is. This is an honest conversation. We're gonna sit down. We're not gonna get upset. We're gonna have an honest conversation. And when I read stuff like things like, oh well, people shouldn't complain because it is a
why shouldn't people
$10
complain?
game. Well, that's my point.
People didn't complain. No, nothing would get better. I don't understand that, but
that's my point. Like, you're right. Nothing would get better. And then, what's the message that you're sending to, developers? You're saying that, hey, we're okay with this.
Yeah.
Ryan Landis in live chat says if Rare doesn't add content quick in a month, it'll be Lake of Thief.
3 months to be exact.
Yeah. Nels Cody says fishing isn't pirating enough. They said I don't know about that.
Yeah, they said that. I couldn't believe it. Like, seriously, bro? What, they eat bananas all day?
I look, as far as I know, pirates drank rum and ran with prostitutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Now they ate leftovers and tropical fruits and beans, rice.
Lots of beans.
Just eat bananas. Come on.
Lots of beans, man. They ate lots of beans. What's up, T Truth? Irrelevant says Destiny ship broken, The Division, Ghost Recon, For Honor, and many others. Yeah, they have it, but none of it. We should not be okay with that. We should not be okay with that. We should not be okay with the lack of content in Sea of Thieves. And people, stop damage controlling. Stop making excuses. Dealer brought up something. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead. You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Rocket League. You know what Rocket League is, right?
Yes.
I hope you do.
No, I definitely don't.
It has more gigabytes than Sea of Thieves. Like, seriously, that's an indie game. And all you do is drive a fucking go-kart around and hit a ball. Yeah, there's 10 different maps?
and there's different there's different play modes. You have basketball, you have ice hockey.
That was what, $20-$30 game on Xbox and free on PlayStation for a while.
Yep, that's right, man. You're absolutely right.
Sad.
I just don't understand, man. Like, and I see this damage controlling, and I'm just like, look, if you like the game, that's fine, but don't sit there and make excuses. Because that I think that's disingenuous. I think it hurts the community. I think it doesn't hold developers and companies accountable. And you have to, we just have to, because this is such an expensive hobby. I mean, this is our money we're talking about. And I don't give a fuck if it's $10, $20, $30, $60. It's still money. Money's money.
Yeah.
Money's money. And, it's one of those things where, and I really saw it in this game, and it was kind of really disappointing for me to see certain people in the community make excuses. Like, I read someone say, well, Rare told you what you're going to get, and if you thought the game was something else, that's on you. No, Rare spent 4 years making this game.
Yeah.
They said we're going to have a pirate game, we're going to have missions, we're going to do, have an adventure out in the sea and all these things. Yeah, they weren't, they didn't give us all the details. Well, actually, they did give us all the details, but most people thought that, okay, well, they're giving us, this is what it's going to be about. There's probably going to be some other, missions. No one thought that there wasn't going to be enough meat on the bone, per se, for this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The
map should be way bigger.
Well, here's the thing.
There's got to be a social hub. Like, what the hell? I don't understand that. Should be a pirate town. That'd be so awesome.
Well, that's what it's interesting you say that because a lot of people I've heard that where I've heard some people that have been critical of the game. What's up, B Money? B Money, man, we got room in here, man. If you want to jump in, um, I've heard people say, hey, you know what? What do they do in 4 years to only have a couple islands where and that's the other thing. Each island, it's pretty much the same. Like you have skeletons, you have snakes. There isn't enough variety on these islands in terms of like animals
Yeah.
and things like that. So what do they do for 4 years? I think that's a legitimate question. I'd like to know.
Hopefully, listen to the feedback and make the game great.
I, I hope so. And I'm not. I'm not saying this game is doomed or
Yeah.
that they can't turn things around, but they have a short period of time to capture the attention of gamers.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
look, there's a big game on the horizon that's coming out, and it's on another platform. And again,
Mhm.
people are going to say, "Oh, well, that's not a that's a different type of game. It's a single player narrative." People are going. That's the other thing that I heard. Well, it's not a single player game. This is a games of service, and you got to
Mhm.
understand that those games evolve with time. You'll get more content. Again, this is true, but not to the point where it's this bare bones though.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
even like the division had more content, had a higher level, I think, of player engagement, or had
Hmm.
things that really kind of suck the player into the world that you were in. I mean, there was this
The
interesting backdrop.
mechanics. I'm sorry. Go
No, go
ahead.
ahead, man. Go ahead.
And the mechanics in that game are really smooth, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, I think there was issues with, and I haven't played Division in a long time, but at launch, I know there was issues with, some of the enemy AI. They were like bullet sponges. The dark
Hmm.
zone was they didn't have like raids. They had the dark zone, and you could steal people's bounties or whatever in the dark zone,
Yeah. Yeah.
and and there was some end game issues with that game. But at least in the beginning, the premise of the game, there's this bioterrorist attack in New York, and like the city has just gone to complete anarchy almost, and the division and the military there, and so there's kind of like a backdrop to kind of like suck you in, right?
Hmm.
Where I feel like Sea of Thieves,
Yep.
you just kind of here's your boat, and here's some missions. You get a map, and have at it.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I
I
mean,
think it's I think it's great for a mixer and streaming.
I,
But how
I,
long is that gonna last, you know?
yeah. I mean, how long is that going to last? I mean, I don't know. Look, I had a blast playing with Lord King. Big shout out to Lord King of the Iron Lords podcast. He is hilarious. But look,
I
man,
bet.
there's not a Lord King in every game of Sea of Thieves. And if there was,
I,
I might be a little more lenient on this game because he's the differentiator in that game. He's just fun to play with. Um,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's the other thing too. Like you need to be able to find a good crew,
Hmm.
and you need,
Exactly.
you need to be able to find good teammates, and you're not going to always find that. And so the game I mean, look, I think it's just clear as day. It has a content problem, and there's nothing wrong pointing that out. Um,
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Chief. What are the things about the game that are kind of like have let you down? Do you feel like could be improved, or that you hope to see change soon?
Fishing. I want to be able to fish.
You want to be able to
I
fish?
want to be
Okay.
able to do things that keeps the game fresh, oddball activities. If I'm doing fetch quests all day, every day, I'm gonna be bored within 2 weeks. I need something else to do.
Let me ask something. Would you feel bored if? Would you be okay with the fetch quest if it allowed you to upgrade weapons or customize things, not just cosmetic upgrades, but being able to maybe upgrade your sword or weapons, maybe add new features to your ship. You upgrade like your cannons, things like that. Do you ever play Black Flag? Black Flag. I gotta be careful how I said that. Black Flag.
I did for like
Assassin's
a
Creed?
whole 30 minutes, and I was done with it. So
Okay. So Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and if you guys remember, everyone in the live chat, if you remember, Ubisoft, I think it was this past E3, they showed off Skull and Bones, which is that like almost like realistic pirate game. Ryan Lennis, actually, real quick, Ryan Lennis wants to know: do you think Rare is waiting to announce more content at E3? I know that there's going to be new content in 90 days. Possibly there'll probably be some kind of
they're adding pets, microtransaction.
Yeah, they're adding pets. There's probably some kind of announcement, I would imagine, but we'll see. So if you remember Assassin's Creed Black Flag, there was a part of the game where you were on your pirate ship. You'd have to like dive, do little side missions to get things in order to upgrade your ship. And I'm telling you, like that was such a rewarding experience. Like even diving diving into the water to try to collect items to upgrade your cannons, to upgrade the hull of your ship to reinforce it. Because you would go up against these larger pirate ships. You would go up against the Spanish or Portuguese armadas, the man of wars, which are these massive like galley ships with like 10 cannons, like 10 rows of. I'm exaggerating, like probably like 4 rows of cannons, right, on the side of the ships.
Yeah.
And if you weren't, if your ship wasn't fortified, if you haven't invested in that ship, you were getting destroyed.
What?
I was trying to release my beater and I accidentally turned it on.
Oh,
it was up.
okay.
So can you just give me that green towel there? Thank you.
Someone spilled beer on you?
Oh.
No, out. Come on.
Out, baby. Good girl.
Thank you.
Chief, I heard beer. Did someone spill beer on you?
I'm sorry, I'm back.
No, that's all right. Did someone spill beer on you? I heard something about beer.
No, my girlfriend's making a cake or something. She got batter all over her.
Yeah, okay. So with that game, these side missions, you were able to upgrade, your ship. And I remember, man, that was so that was so nice. Like even you were grinding, but the upgrades paid dividends because as you progress in the story, you were able to take out some of these bigger ships and these legendary ships. So that's the kind of stuff that I would have liked to see in it. And I don't agree with this notion of, well, you know what, you would have liked to see that, but you should know that Rare didn't say that game was going to be like on you. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why is it shame on me because I want a game to improve? Like, I don't understand that mindset.
Yeah, but at the same time, they don't want new players to get marked right away, with people that's been playing the game for months, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. Like, they're trying to make it. I get what they're trying to do, and I think that's a novel. That's a novel approach.
Friendly.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're trying to make it noob friendly. And look, that's a novel approach, but I don't think that that's one that necessarily is going to keep people's attention. So, hey, what's up, B Money?
Yeah.
Yo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Just
chilling.
Trying to have an honest conversation about Sea of Thieves, B.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm all about that honesty, man. So.
Yeah, buddy.
So B, I mean, look, I've been trying to look, man, B, I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't understand the damage trolling. I'm trying to be nice about it, man. I'm trying to, B, I'm really trying to like be I don't know, man. Like politically correct, I guess. Because I don't want to sound like I'm fanboying or I'm trying to console war, but some of the stuff I'm seeing, man, like people saying things like, "Oh well, you knew what the game was. If you expected something different, that's your fault." And I'm like, what? Like wanting a game to be better is somehow a bad thing now?
I just don't understand that logic, man. I think we've been hearing that more and more. You know what I mean? Depending on, it doesn't matter which side it's coming from, but
Yeah.
you're hearing that more and more, every time a game comes out, the people who love the game are always like, oh, well, you know what you're getting into, you know what you're buying, you know what I mean? And they just think that everybody's supposed to be educated on the product and shouldn't expect more from the product at the end of the day. At the end of the day, like we're consumers. We spend our money, you know what I mean? And we have an idea of what the experience, should be or could be. And you know what I mean? Sometimes you get in there and you're just let down. So you know what I mean? The damage control has to stop. You know what I mean? I think not just with this game, but with a lot of games, I think we'll see this probably going forward throughout the year more and more.
Yeah.
But I understand people say, if you don't like this game, you're not an Xbox gamer, and if you don't like this game, you don't have no friends, and all this other nonsense. Just like, man, what the hell is going on? Like, you know what I mean? All that is ridiculous. You know what I mean? If you get in there and you try to experience the game and you're not having a good time, it's the game isn't for you, and it's okay for you to feel like that. But to kind of be put down by other people because you're not enjoying the game as much as them is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. Like I don't have an issue. If you like the game, like it. Like that's cool. I'm not gonna tell you otherwise, but I am gonna say that I have issues with the game. Right. I have issues with, like I brought this up earlier to Chief. I said, we had Dealer on Wednesday, and I didn't even think about this being until he said it. He's like, this game was in development for 4 years.
Yeah.
What were they doing?
Yeah.
And that's a fair question to ask.
The skybox in the water.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me a lot of Fable Legends before like Fable Legends was canceled. But this game has been an alpha for going on almost 2 years now. It was an alpha and then it went to beta, like official beta. Everybody was able to get into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, for 2 years people have been playing this game. You know what I mean? So you would think that all the people who were in alpha would be giving feedback and saying like, hey, this is something you'd like to see improvement on, or you should add this to the game, or whatever the case may be. So I wonder what the state of the game was when the alpha first started, and how much improvement they made to this point and reduced the game. There still isn't a lot of content now. So how much content was there at the beginning? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the type of questions you start to have now. Think about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's very interesting. I know we kind of talked about it, offline, but multiplayer really isn't what Rare is known for. You know what I mean? They've made, local co-op games and things like that, but this big, massive online multiplayer is not what Rare is known for. And no, this isn't the Rare of 20, 30 years ago who, put out great classic and things like that, but people know the name, so they have an expectation of what the type of product they'll bring to the table. So this is definitely something that is not known from Rare. So it's definitely a walk out on a plank and taking a risk here. But content wise, there just doesn't seem like there's much there. So
well, Chief was in the alpha, and he was saying earlier that there hasn't been much in terms of addition of new content since the alpha.
A couple new boats, maybe a couple merchants. That's pretty much it. Not a whole lot.
So what were they doing for 4 years? That's what I want to know. Like what? Like,
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
And it's crazy. It's crazy. People look at me crooked when I say that. It's like, well, why would you look? I want to know because you're charging people for something. You're charging people for something that you worked on for 4 years.
You know what? If this game was $30 It'd be doing well, I think.
Chief, did you buy the game for $60 or did you hop on it?
Yeah,
in
I bought it for
Pass?
$60.
Okay,
I'm a believer.
That's what I want to know. I want to know the ratio of people who actually went out and purchased it versus
what's
people
funny?
who are playing it in Game Pass.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I was checking online on Walmart.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, the only store, there was only one store in my area that had a copy of Sea of Thieves. And I live in Kansas City. There's what, like 500,000 people here? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people here.
Right.
And that one store only had 3 copies. Like, what the hell?
You know what, man? It's interesting. You mentioned it. Look, I'm not one of the conspiracy theories like that, but someone else, I think it was Noof Newcomb, said that he thought that he couldn't find Sea of Thieves at any Walmart. He's like, Microsoft better not be shorting, retail copies of this game to get people to go on Game Pass.
Oh, they are.
I'm like, I don't know about that. See, I don't like to speculate or get into like conspiracy theories like that. I hope they're not doing it. I don't think they are though, because at least where I live, and I haven't checked Walmart where I live, but I know that there's retail copies at Best Buy and like GameStop. So I think that might be coincidence than anything else. So, B, have you seen retail copies where you're in, man?
No, I was actually in Best Buy earlier today and picking up something else, but I just took a look around the game section and Sea of Thieves was not on the shelf. So,
well,
damn,
maybe it was sold out.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could have been. I mean, it definitely is one of the highest watched games on streaming networks. So, it definitely has like a high volume of interest. But like I said, I don't know if it's if that many people ran out to pick it up, or if people just chose to play it on Game Pass. So,
yeah. Hey, Chief, real quick, man. It sounds like you're in a wind tunnel again with your mic, man.
Oh, my bad.
No worries, man. Yeah, I just B and Chief, I just can't get over the damage controlling, man, and the excuses. I don't.
I know.
I just feel like it's dangerous. I feel like when you do that, you're not holding these developers accountable. You're not. You're probably doing more harm than good. And I just, as I think about this game more, and B, I'm telling you, man, if you well, you don't have Game Pass now, but if you were to see this game, man, you would immediately be like, okay, man, this game looks great. You probably have fun if it was me, you, Eric, and Chief, and someone else we knew. But after a while, B, you might be like, you know what, I'm tired of chasing chickens, man.
Right.
When I see people, and look, if you have fun doing quests where you're chasing chickens and putting them in a cage and running back to your ship, fine, that's cool. That's just not for me, man. I can't get behind that. I need a little more substance to a game than that. B, I don't know if you heard me talking about Assassin's Creed, Black Flag. Did you play that?
Yeah, I did.
So do you remember like the quest you would do on the side to like build up your ship?
Yeah.
Like that's what they should have. Like if you're gonna spend all this time in the ocean with your ship, and I know eventually you'll be able to customize your ship with like custom sails and stuff. But why not have that now?
Because that will be one of the big updates during E3. It's a reason to put Sea of Thieves back on the stage at E3. Launch, a major update to the game. Show off all these crazy new features and additions to the game, and every couple months they could basically relaunch the game with big updates. That's featured on inside of Xbox, featured at E3. If they do Gamescom again, that's probably when the next update comes, or the fall update.
Yeah.
So it's, since it is a games as a service, it's going to continue to grow and kind of relaunch itself like every other games as a service these days. So throughout the year they'll add more updates and they'll gain more players, but put it out now, because we gotta think we're getting close. they had to do something. You know what I mean? It's March now. We've seen a couple of preview games release, and that's great for the people who actually own Xboxes and things like that. But it's like, if you don't own an Xbox, how would you know about those games? You know what I mean? Like, they're not on retail shelves or anything like that. So, you know, that's the one thing with you know, only digital titles and things like that, is that you're really only servicing the people who own your product. So it makes it a little difficult to kind of reach an audience beyond the one that you already have established. But like, we were getting close. March was, you know, we're coming to the tail end of March. They had to release something. We still don't know when the crackdown was coming. They gave us a release date for State of Decay. So, and you know, we know those releases weren't going to stack on top of each other. So they had to release something, put it out there. It's a game everybody's been talking about, and you know, they'll just continue to update it throughout the year.
But isn't that kind of dangerous in a way? Because don't you run the risk as a developer to potentially lose the interest of gamers? I mean, I know everyone talks about, you know, Rainbow Six Siege, right? Didn't you know that game is successful now after many updates, but that game's also on multiple platforms too,
right?
So they're going to have a bigger pool of gamers to tap into that may become interested in this game. Where Microsoft, you know, has a smaller install base, you know, doesn't have the luxury of being, you know, having Sea of Thieves is on PC too. I don't know how popular that game's going to be on PC. OBJ to Don says, "Sorry, Sea of Thieves is trash." Jesus, man. We didn't say. Look, we just. I'm not saying it's trash. I'm saying I'm just repeating what OBJ to Don said. But I feel like they run the risk. And B, look, I'm not. And not to try to call anyone out, I'm going to be very careful here because I don't want to feel like I don't want anyone to think that I'm purposely calling them out. But there's something that was shared that I read. You probably know where this came from, but this idea of like games as a service that, you know, hey, you know, it's okay, you know, this game's not going to be the same game in a couple months. You know, it's just going to give you, you know, kind of the basics right now, and you know, and then as this thing goes on, it's going to be this grand adventure. Well, why? Well, but the problem is that there's no basics even here. It's still in alpha beta form. It's almost like maybe this should have been in preview program instead.
If this was a free to play game, do you think it would be a big deal?
No, I don't think so, man.
The backlash?
Yeah, what do you think, Chief? If this is free to play?
I think it would do better. Personally, I wouldn't be pissed about it because I feel like I bought a $30 game with a season pass that I didn't know about. It's like the season pass was included with it. Because the size of the game is the size of a freaking indie game. I mean, Cuphead has more gigabytes than freaking Sea of Thieves. Like, come on, that's a platformer. Seriously. I don't know.
Yeah,
you're
just saying that there's more content, and I mean, I see what you're saying, but yeah.
It's like the season pass was included with it. I don't know. It's stupid. I think it's stupid.
I don't know, man.
But this is why, you know, I've come out and said this plenty of times, man. I'll wait to jump in Game Pass till the end of the year. You know, I can wait until Sea of Thieves get their big update and the game is worth me jumping in there, trying it out and see if it's really worth my time. Same with State of Decay. You know what I mean? We know what Microsoft is doing with their games. Basically all their games are game as a service. They're multiplayer games that are supposed to have this living, breathing world and continue to function for years on years. So, you know, I'll just wait till the end of the year, and the 3 major games that they have announced so far, they'll release, and I'll get them in a better form at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Let me ask you guys something. Do you guys think that Microsoft? You know, I was talking to somebody else on DM today, who is a primarily games on the Xbox console, and he said to me, this kind of gives me concern about games as a service, and he didn't really elaborate. And I'm curious I got to touch base with him again. I'm curious to see what he meant in that. But do you guys think that maybe Microsoft is going for, with regards to like beefing up Game Pass, maybe they're going for quantity over quality?
Yeah, I think that definitely is the game plan at the end of the day. I mean, the more games that you can guarantee will be in there for long periods of times, you know what I mean? Because they've basically come out and said that every first party game will be in there. So if you have the big brands like the Halos and the Gears and the Sea of Thieves and things like that in there, people are more willing to pay the $10 a month. So if they get that $120 from you, and most people are averaging 2 games a year anyway, you know what I mean, they've pretty much locked you in. And for most people, that's a great entry point. $10 a month, that's something you throw out the window. You know what I mean? You're not thinking about that $10 a month.
No, you're not.
And you know what I mean, you're in there playing 100+ games. So the more people they can get to do that, it's better for them, because you have people who only buy, the 1 or 2 games a year. Some people only buy like, Madden every year, or
Call of Duty
2K every year, or you know what I mean, they only buy the one game that they're looking for, Call of Duty. But if you can get them to be like, that's $10 a month, no big deal, then you got them locked in. You know what I mean? And they definitely talked about the engagement and how they want to improve that.
Yeah.
When you got people in there playing games, people aren't thinking about it because they spent their $10. They're more willing to try stuff that they wouldn't normally check out. And if you can get somebody in there to say, hop on Sea of Thieves, and later down the line they start digging it, and then they start getting the microtransaction stuff. Ching ching. You know what I mean? That's how Microsoft looks at it.
Yeah, but I don't think you're helping either when you're when you're damage controlling games that aren't good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the other thing.
Can't do that. You definitely can't
I think people need to be honest. I mean, I don't think I just this whole idea of games is, I just feel like too, like people are using games as a service as an excuse for Microsoft delivering bad games. I mean, it doesn't, like, no one should ever be okay with that.
Yeah.
No one should ever say, hey, like this game, it's gonna go off for a couple months, so quit breaking my balls. It's not. The game isn't good at launch. There's nothing wrong with pointing that out. I mean, there's other games as a service that have had more meat to the bone, if you will. Like we talked about, like Destiny. Even Destiny 2.
Way more meat.
Yeah. I mean,
at least, when you look at a game like Destiny, they actually give you something to grind for, because it has RPG elements. So, maybe you're looking for that new set of armor, or, that gun, or, just trying to increase your light level. You're definitely working towards something, the entire time. And yes, you could be a legendary pirate, but at the end of the day, what does that truly mean for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you get a different colored compass.
Yeah.
Or a different colored cutlass.
Yeah, well, you get your own hangout too, like your own cave or whatever. Once you become a legendary pirate.
I mean, I guess that's cool, but you're hanging out on the game all day anyway. So, what are you gonna do? Just hang out in the cave together?
Yeah, and party chat.
Okay.
I'm legendary. I'm cool.
I guess.
You know what it almost seems like to me? It's like they wanted to create an exotic destination for party chat.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely more of a social game. What I mean? Just getting in there, hanging out, acting goofy, being silly, throwing up on each other, playing instruments, all that nonsense. It's definitely, you'll see more people streaming it and just goofing off and having fun. And I think that's what they want at the end of the day.
I gotta be honest with you, B, man. I don't find any I don't find any excitement in people playing music, barfing on me.
Oh, come on.
I don't like
you didn't have fun doing that the first time? puking on somebody and like blinding them? You didn't find that fun at all?
I mean, like, yeah, it was kind of like, oh, ha ha ha, you know, and then the novelty of it all kind of wore off.
Yeah,
you know?
for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like but like I'm not gonna turn. Oh, I can't wait to turn on my Xbox and throw up on B Money. You know, like you know what I mean. Like I'm not doing that. Like I just, there's so much.
Yeah.
The problem that I have with this is, I feel like with games as a service, if you're gonna do this game, you know, you gotta give people like you gotta get them in. You know, you gotta get them in early. Especially I think if it's a game that's exclusive to one platform, because look at all these games that are coming out. I mean, B, you talk about this all the time. And Chief, you know this, man. Like all these games are coming out, you know, the next couple months. I mean, we have, God, what do we have? We have God of War coming out next month, which looks wow, right? We have State of Decay 2. I think State of Decay 2 is going to be a better game than Sea of Thieves. I'm actually looking for more. I'm looking more forward to that game than I am looking at getting back to Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
you know,
you know that formula is good because the first one was well received.
Yeah, the first one wasn't bad, and you know, it has some. You know, there's an element to the game that IGN just recently covered. You know, the like with the survival or the building of I don't want to call it city building, but it's like building your fort or your camp, whatever. You know, so there's some like RPG type elements in that game, and you know, you can play co-op now. You can play four player co-op, and that game seems more interesting to me. B Money, Nino Kuni 2. That just came out, and
A Way Out that came out today.
No Way Out.
The Way Out came out.
MLB The Show.
MLB The Show was out today.
Yeah. So
Far Cry comes out on Tuesday.
That's right. Far Cry 5 comes out Tuesday.
So much content, man.
Yeah. Detroit Become Human comes out in May. So like I feel like this game's gonna get potentially forgotten. And maybe not. Maybe if you only own an Xbox, maybe, or at least for me, like this game's not probably going to be my radar unless they drop some massive content and they give me some more island. They give me some variety with the islands. They improve the end game because this game is just Chief. It's like you said, man. It's like it's not a $60 game. It's not worth a $60 game. It's maybe if it's free or 30. Or maybe if it's in early access, you know, maybe that makes sense. But I don't know. You know, this gives me concern too, man. With Microsoft and B, I got to be honest with you, man. Like I know we've talked about this a lot in DM, but I got to be honest with you guys. They're from a first party perspective. I'm a little concerned. Like
For sure.
If it's not Halo, if it's not Gears, if it's not Forza, it's not good. I mean, that's.
I'm telling you, man. I've highlighted this over the years. This was Microsoft's biggest problem. You know, they tried to follow the same playbook they used in the 360 era, where you know they were dominant, they were the leader, they were able to kind of use second party very heavily. And that paid off for them because they were the leader. Everybody felt like, you know, 360 had the better game, so that's where everybody played.
Yeah.
They came into the generation with the same playbook. And, you know, they kind of rolled that at the beginning of the gen, a lot of second party stuff. You know, you look at Rise, look at Sunset Overdrive, all these games that they really don't have control over. And, you know, people are asking for sequels. They can't do anything about it. It's definitely harder to get you know, developers to work with you when bridges have been burned and things like that. So they came in with the same playbook, but the playbook didn't work this time. You know what I mean? And it's something that they definitely adapted to over the past couple of years. But you definitely want to see the fruits of the labor. You know what I mean? Everybody was talking about all the rumors at the beginning of the year. Everybody was super hyped. You know what I mean? Remember early January, how everyone's super hyped. All these Microsoft rumors are coming out. You know, they're buying this, they're buying that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was hyped.
All these games were, you know, rumored to be in the works. So hopefully in E3, I mean, they definitely show up and show out. You know what I mean? Because I think they definitely need to, but they definitely have to keep it in house. You know what I mean? They have to make it to where they can actually control what's going on. Because when they don't, man, it's disaster. Because then we are left with the Halo 4 Gears and Forza. You know what I mean? Like beyond what we know right now, what do we have coming this fall? What's coming next year? What's coming the year after that? Like we have no idea. But we know there's going to be a Gears game. There's going to be a Forza game. There's going to be a Halo game in the next 3 years.
Be a Fable game, right?
Yeah, I mean there should be. We don't know for sure.
I think Fable's going to be. You know, Matt Piscatello from NPD was on the show, and he said that he thinks both Sony and Microsoft launch new consoles 2020. It's 2 years from now. I think the Fable game is probably a launch title with that new console.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I could see Fable and a Forza game launching. With the next
Cyberpunk was confirmed today for a next gen console.
Yeah, I talked about that a couple weeks ago. A lot of people were you know, weren't too sure, you know, where that information came from, but they had confirmed that a couple weeks back at a conference.
And Microsoft could probably get the marketing rights for that, I would imagine. I mean, they had it for The Witcher 3.
Yeah, I think they definitely could. There's rumors that Sony might actually try to sneak in there and get it, but it'll be interesting, man, because they actually confirmed that they're working on another game too, beyond Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
so,
really.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's a rumors about okay, somebody's going on the live chat here. All I see is OBJ to Don says, "Don't be salty." So I don't know OBJ, what's going on, man? What's going on in the live chat? Because I haven't been paying attention to it clearly. But there, you know, there's rumors of Gears of War spinoff, potentially Halo spinoff. The Gears spinoff.
But those are things that they should not do. Don't.
But but they're going to do it because that's.
But that is going to create the narrative even further. More people are just going to be saying, "All you get is Gears. All you get is Halo." That's all they can do. That's all they got. You can't bring us nothing new. Like if you look across the street, let's just look across the street. What has Sony done with their studios? All the major studios are not making the same games that they're making from last gen. Look at it. Let's look at the playbook.
Naughty Dog.
I mean, what is Naughty Dog doing?
Similar to Uncharted, isn't it?
It's pretty similar, but it's a totally different IP. And when The Last of Us came out, it was a bigger IP. It sold more than the last Uncharted game did. It sold like 13 million copies. They came, hit that boy out of the park. Guerrilla comes this gen. They give us one Killzone. Wasn't well received. They just put it out. They hit us with Horizon. Sell 8 million copies. Knock it out of the park. If you look at Sucker Punch, they gave us, you know, 3 infamous games. One game that came on this generation wasn't well received. Guess what? Ghost of Tsushima,
which is, which I hear is going to be a PS5 exclusive,
right? Like, you know what I mean. So if you just look across the street at what the competition is doing, you start to scratch your head and wonder why like Microsoft isn't following that same format. If they just hit us with a Gears spinoff and a Halo spinoff, like how excited can you be about that? Like the last Gears game, the last Halo game weren't that exciting. So why would you be super excited for a spinoff?
I'm not excited for a Halo spinoff.
I would be like RPG Halo. I don't know. That might be kind of cool.
I mean, I think it'd definitely be cool.
I mean, yeah, maybe
make it more like a Mass Effect or something like that, where it's RPG elements and things like that. But would they really risk it and go that far?
No.
You know, I mean, that's the question you have to ask.
Yeah.
Or would it just be, you know, would it be another Reach game? Would it be Halo 3 ODST again? Like Halo 5 ODST? Like,
good point.
You know I mean,
it could be a sequel to ODST.
Right. You know what I mean? We don't know how far they would take it. You got to think like Bungie was in-house with Microsoft. Bungie wanted to make Destiny, more RPG element type game. Bungie left. You know what I mean? Microsoft let them walk. They wanted to make Halo games in the traditional form. You know what I mean? So It'll be interesting if they allow that now. You know what I mean? That's definitely something that I would be more intrigued about if they allow more RPG elements in the Halo game or went that route. But I don't know if they are willing to take that risk.
Yeah, I think that's I think they have put the onus of the risk on second, third party deals, and that worked for them last console gen, like you said, B. But it hasn't worked this console gen. Like it just hasn't.
Every one of them has been a swing and a miss, man.
Yeah, I mean,
name one game from this gen that you're like, that you're like, yo, that game's amazing. You know what I mean? It's that exclusive was amazing.
I mean, Sunset Overdrive,
but did it hit though? It was a swing and a miss.
I mean,
swing and a miss.
It was a good game though. Like it was a good game.
It was a great game. It didn't resonate to the core. That's what I mean when I say swing and a miss.
Yeah.
So is that bad marketing?
I mean, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I think marketing definitely plays a big factor into it. But what do you think
about? Go ahead.
Was Sunset the right game for the core audience for Microsoft?
I mean, I don't know, man. Probably not.
I passed on it.
Yeah. That's because Chief, you're a dude, bro. Go ahead, man.
I got a question for you guys. What do you think about Sea of Thieves marketing with their tour bus, with their Canon record, and their golden bananas? What do you think about that marketing?
I think they went a little too hard, man. I think the marketing doesn't match what the product is.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's and I think this shit's kind of cheesy, to be honest. I think they would have been okay with traditional marketing, putting something on television, but shooting out of something out of a Canon. I mean, like that's not really resonate with anyone. Like I saw it. I'm
that's
like,
cool, but
like I saw it. I'm like, well, like you could shoot people out of a Canon, in Sea of Thieves. But okay. But I think traditional marketing maybe on TV would have been better. That's just my opinion. But they don't pay me the big bucks at Microsoft to make this decision. So I don't know. But
what are they going to do next? Eat a banana and record it? Like, come on. I think they should have put that money into the game and let the game sell itself.
They're going to put Larry Herb in a snake pit. I don't know, man. I feel like this is an example. I feel like this game, and it's crazy to see that Rare is sitting at like a rare game at that. And I guess this is probably also a reminder too. This isn't. Maybe you said this earlier, B, but this isn't the Rare that we grew up with, and this isn't the Rare from the 360 generation. That Rare's gone. I think most of those people are gone.
Right.
And this game, being a first-party exclusive, being a new IP, and not being received well, for me, this is like this just highlights what we've all been saying for the last couple of years, that internally, from a first-party perspective, there's an issue,
right?
And because they haven't nurtured. I don't think they haven't nurtured their studios the way like Sony and Nintendo do, and I think there's an interesting dynamic now where, now you have, we know about Sony's success, but look, you have Nintendo now to deal with.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's another plate at the table. Man. There's another plate at the table. So Nintendo's eating now too. And
they on fire. Taking over. I see it.
Yeah. I mean, look at, the fastest console to sell in a year or something like that, whatever it was.
Yeah.
The price point, bro.
Yeah, look at the price.
$300 price point. Perfect.
Yeah. And out of the big two, they offer something different. they really all do offer something that's tangible, that's different, that the other two don't, and that's the ability to play on TV or play on the go. Take your games anywhere you go.
Right.
Yeah. You can milk cows and all that.
Exactly. You can milk cows. Exactly. OBJ Don says the marketing ain't helping. I saw someone eating a damn banana with a peel on it. Jesus. I hope nobody was doing that.
Really?
Oh, man.
I want to see that.
I just want to make something clear. Like people, I hate that I even have to like preface this, but because I think B, you got me thinking a little bit when you're like, people think that we already bash Microsoft too much, and it's not that we're bashing. You understand? Each one of us here owns an Xbox. Each one of us has spent a lot of money on Microsoft products. I mean, shit. I've gone through. I have, the OG Xbox with the Kinect, the Xbox One S, and then the Xbox One X, and that's hardware. These include the controllers, the headsets, the software, the subscriptions. It doesn't include all that stuff, and so it's like, yeah, I'm going to be vocal because I'm a consumer, and because I also remember a time. And B, you remember this, and Chief, I don't know how long you've been. I meant to ask you this earlier too, Chief. How long you've been gaming for?
Since the NES.
Okay, so you've been around for a little bit then. Okay. What's the first Xbox you
owned? Xbox 360.
360. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been around the glory days, as they say, when they were putting out games and they were getting some exciting content. I mean, they were getting bangers on the 360.
That had an exclusive from Software. Nobody played it. Nobody even knew that the game was made by From Software. But Ninja Blade was one of those games. It went under the radar. You know what I mean? Like,
they had a Toji as an exclusive on the OG Xbox for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was a fun game. I think published by Sega, if I'm not mistaken. So I keep saying they had fucking Ninja Gaiden as an exclusive.
Yeah.
So I think, and I hate that I have to preface it like this, but our criticisms are out of love, and we're not. I'm never gonna that's just not me, I'm not gonna damage control because I know that that's not gonna benefit me at all. I want the best. I want the best gaming experiences. I want the best games. I just want to be. I want that. I want to be. Wow. And let me tell you something. And this is telling. Have you guys seen? Do you guys remember the reaction when they announced backwards compatibility?
That's been their loudest reaction.
Yes.
At every E3.
B
since this gen. That's been the loudest reaction, man.
Were you there for that E3? Because I know you've been a couple E3s. So I don't.
Yeah, I was there. I was there. It was me, Wood, and who was with us? Oh, we were with Skittles that year. So yeah, we were there. We were in the audience.
And you were and from other E3s you can compare.
Yeah,
that was the loudest reaction.
That was the loudest reaction this gen.
Isn't that a problem?
I mean, I've been saying that, but people don't want to listen. People don't want to listen to me, man. They think I'm hating. They think, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about, things that they like. But I always said, man, Microsoft should have never glorified the backwards compatibility thing. Like, it's great. It's cool to have it. It's nice to keep all your games with you and keep them, going from gen to gen to gen. That's amazing. You know what I mean? It's something that we have never seen in gaming before, to be able to carry your library like that. But at the end of the day, like, I bought this console to play new games, man. Play new games. Like, I've played those games, and it's great to be able to return to them. But I want new, exciting games. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day, man. Like, when you think about just the history of Microsoft, just going back to the 360 gen, without Gears of War, what was their big game? Because even that game was made by Epic. You know what I mean? At the time, that was just a second party game.
That's a great. No, for 360. You talking about Gears of War?
Oh
yeah.
Oh, Gears of War. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So even that game was made by Epic. You know what I mean? It just happened to be on a Microsoft console. They had to purchase the rights for this gen. But what there hasn't been, from a first party standpoint, there hasn't been much, because they've been so rooted to things that they've that they know. Halo, Gears, Forza, Fable, you know, for the longest time they're supposed to be returning to that. So all of that stuff has been here since the original Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, B. I mean, if you compare and contrast, you know, what Sony has done versus, you know, Microsoft, you know, in terms of first party, you're right. Like outside of Gears, which wasn't a first party game, what else has there been? You can't say Forza because Forza came at the tail end of the OG Xbox.
Right.
So, I mean, what else? So yeah, it's almost like what, and we saw this with Scalebound. You know, they you know they struck a deal with Platinum to make this exclusive game, and then you know this game it kept missing deadlines or with development and it almost seems like it unraveled, like there's some kind of mismanagement. And then and then it gets canceled, and then Fable gets canceled, and then they shut down Lionhead, but then they turn over Fable to
Playground.
what's it called? Playground, and then you find out the Lionhead says what Playground's working on is basically what they had pitched to Microsoft, and Microsoft said no. It's like who's running the madhouse here? It's like people like, look, Phil Spencer's done a great job of turning things around. He got handed a shit sandwich, but I gotta be honest with you guys, and I don't care if people can sit there and curse my name. It might be time for a new change. It might be time to get someone in there who's gonna invest.
Matt
I keep hitting
right.
Who? Yeah, but get Phil out of the. Why does he have Satya's ear? He doesn't need Satya. Satya doesn't need to listen to him. You know, Satya should be like, hey, you know what, man? You turn things around. You know, like Phil's like the head coach, right? The head coach who takes over a floundering team and gets him to that point. Like Phil. You know who he is? B Money, Phil Spencer. He's the head coach who used to coach the Chicago Bulls. What's his name?
Phil Jackson.
Not Phil Jackson, the guy before him. Collins. What's his name?
Phil Collins?
No, that's the singer, man. What's his name? He coached the Wizards too when Jordan was at the Wizards. Doug Collins.
Collins, yeah.
So Chicago was trash for a little bit. They get Jordan, right? They go through coaches. Collins, right? They bring in Doug Collins. Doug Collins takes him to the playoffs, right? But they're not there yet. They're not there, right? They're getting beat out by the Pistons, right? And so they say, you know what? We need to change. We need someone. Yeah, we need someone who can take us to the next level. And who was that? Phil Jackson. They're bringing Phil Jackson. The rest is history. And you know what? Maybe it's time to bring in Phil Jackson for Microsoft, the Xbox division.
Well, I mean, hopefully Matt Booty is the Phil Jackson. You know what I mean? Yeah. Phil has kind of worked his way up the ranks, you know what I mean? And he's got a seat at the table. So hopefully, Matt Booty comes in there and he's the Phil Jackson of the Xbox division. Because, he definitely has done things with the Minecraft brand and, made it bigger than it's ever been before. And he, talked a lot about, how Microsoft needs to communicate through, the other studios and kind of work together and collaborate. So
Sony does that.
Yeah. So maybe he is the Phil Jackson, and we just got to wait and see. But that's the only thing, man. We've been waiting and trying to see, and waiting and trying to see, and waiting and trying to see. For so long that some people are getting fed up. So,
and I'm tired of waiting, man. I'm tired of waiting. And I hate it that people look at me cross-eyed when I say I'm tired of waiting. I'm like, well, why am I going to sit here and make excuses? Why do we have to wait?
Yeah,
it's been 5 fucking years. Why do we have to wait?
Hey, you got PUBG, right?
Yeah. I mean, they went out there. They got the biggest name and biggest game of the year.
That game,
you got to applaud them for that.
But that's not a first party game.
It's not.
They can't rely on that. It doesn't.
That's true.
And look, and the crazy thing is that and look, of course I'm bitching about Microsoft. And I do it because I care. Because I for the most part I probably primarily game. Well, now, I got the X.
Yeah,
so gold chain gamer. Yeah, I like my shit enhanced. I primarily game on the Xbox One X now. I mean, I do. I mean, I play PUBG on there. I play Monster Hunter. I just fired up the PS4 recently to play Bloodborne, which is a good. Hey, by the way, I just want to say something. Someone brought up. I've watched Kid Smooth stream a lot, and someone said Kid Smooth just beat. I don't know. He beat one of the bosses in Bloodborne, and that dude, like you said, it's like he just won the national championship, like he's shot, to win it all. And he's like, yeah, he's screaming, and I'm like, you know what, man? Hey, look, I don't mean this to sound like a fanboy or anything, but I've never seen him scream or be that excited playing an Xbox game. That's just keeping it real. Like that's just keeping it real.
Didn't he have like a $400 bet on that game though?
He does. That's probably part of it,
Okay.
But still, I mean, I understand. Like people are like, oh, well, Sony has narrative-driven games, and Microsoft has games as a service, multiplayer games. The problem is, and here's the big like thing that when I look at like that argument, Sony does do narrative-driven games. They do them very well, right? The issue that I see with Microsoft is, yes, they do multiplayer, but there's other people in that space that they're doing multiplayer better.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem. I think if Microsoft, this isn't the days of Halo ruling first-person shooters is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Call of Duty got that under wraps.
Yeah, but Chief, you guys remember what Halo was?
Yeah, Halo was the go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was the game that everybody played.
But because there was nothing else in that space,
right?
And not to say that it wasn't a good game. I mean, shit, that game. I mean, look, Halo has been a phenomenal franchise. It holds a special place in my mind, my heart. I mean, it really does. It was almost heartbreaking for me to play the last Halo. Although the multiplayer was good, the single player was like, I was like, oh shit, like, this is, I'm just the Sea of Thieves things, man, has got me. For me, it's like was my tipping point where I'm like, this is rare, and Rare's not. They can not even Rare can put out a good game. Like, and I'm thinking like, people like, why isn't anyone questioning this? And I don't get it. And I'm not saying this game can't be good. I think it can, but I don't know. I'm not so sure.
10 gigabytes for $60. I don't know about that.
Well, Chief, I don't know. Like you were saying, you said Pirate City, and I'm sure there's things that were like listed probably in the alpha, like in the suggestion box.
Yeah.
Like imagine like a big Pirate City. Like in Pirates of the Caribbean, they have Tortuga. The fishing thing. I don't know what else. Who knows?
Mini games.
Yeah, mini games.
When you go to the islands and stuff, are there like any CPU pirates there, or is it just the skeletons?
Skeletons and snakes, and birds,
chickens,
pigs,
trees,
rocks. And don't get me wrong, the game looks beautiful. I mean, in 4K HDR, it looks beautiful. It's one of the best.
It looks good on the Xbox One.
It does. Yeah, it's one of the best looking games that I've seen this console gen. I mean, all
that's cool. That's like dating a supermodel with no brains. You know what I mean? Like, look good, but if the conversation ain't there, then what's the point?
B, did you just compare Sea of Thieves and dating a supermodel with no brains?
I'm just saying, like, everybody praises how beautiful the game looks, and that's cool. But you know what I mean, if there's no substance there, then what do you really got at the end of the day?
Well, don't you know, B, that that's what Rare said, and if you wanted more out of the game, that's your fault.
It's not for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's
action adventure games, not for you.
Or
niche genre.
Or it's a game for Xbox gamers. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm an Xbox gamer. I play on the Xbox. It's not for me though.
But this is why, like, I've always been off put by the game, man. Without any type of narrative, nothing, no type of story to follow. Like with if you look at just like Destiny, or you look at most recently with Monster Hunter, like how they have events, like scheduled events and timed events. Like there should be timed events in the game where, you know what I mean, you have to take down a bigger ship that's filled with like CPU pirates, and it's harder. So you have to become friends with another group of guys or a couple groups where you got to take down a ship. You know what I mean? Like there's so much potential with this game, and I just don't understand why they couldn't get there before the release date. You know what I mean?
I don't understand what they did for 4 years. That's what I'm trying. What the fuck did you do for 4 years?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, so when you go when you go dig for the treasure or whatever, all you're fighting is skeletons, and that's it.
Sometimes the skeletons don't even pop up.
So you can go to the island, get treasure, and get it on your ship without.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you go turn in your treasure chest, and you hope you don't run into another pirate galley where they might try to rob you, as pirates do. But honestly, I haven't had that happen yet.
Yeah.
No,
I haven't had that happen. In the beta we destroyed.
I've been killed over and over before. I got called the worst names in the world, man. They were calling me the N-word and everything. I was like, oh my god, these people are crazy.
That's terrible, man.
The grief of the game is really bad.
But hey,
I heard they're fixing it.
That's how you. But hey, you're creating your own experience.
Oh yeah. People call me names. How fun. Kill me over and over.
OBJ to Don said the main problem is the progression loop. Why the hell would I want to grind for an eye patch? It does nothing for my character.
Right. That's what I said.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And look, I understand they're trying to make the game inviting, but you can't create this utopian game that fits everywhere. You just can't. And I don't think the formula of what they're trying to do works. It just doesn't keep people engaged. I mean, you look at once you become a legendary pirate, you get access to legendary missions. But here's the kicker. Let's say Chief, let's say you become a legendary status, right? You become a legendary pirate. And me and B Bunny were like, we're just, a bunch of scallywags, Yeah. We don't play the game a lot. We could still join you on your legendary missions. So unless I want my own cave and legendary gear, I guess, cosmetic gear, I could still play your missions and still benefit from whatever rewards you get from said missions. So what's the motivation then, I guess, to want to become a legendary pirate if you don't necessarily have to play legendary missions? And I feel like that was kind of the issue with even Destiny 2, with being able to join clans and reap the benefits of your clanmates.
Yeah, they do all the work. You get all the raid loot.
Yeah,
you have to do nothing. Just log in once a week.
I'm not gonna lie, man. That's what I did with Destiny 2, man. I feel terrible, but I did. I mean, it got to the point where Gamer Addict's like, all right, everyone log in, get your shit. That's how bad it got.
I haven't touched that game in months.
Yeah. OBJ to Don, I've not heard this. He said there's a supposed ex-Rare dev who says the whole concept was supposed to be free to play and centered around microtransactions.
I can see that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can definitely see that, man. They probably pulled back on the microtransaction thing once EA caught some flack for it. I think you see a lot of devs now talking about how they won't have traditional microtransactions. It'll be more for, cosmetic things and stuff like that. But you won't see the whole Star Wars thing. I don't think you'll see that for a while. Nobody's trying to catch that flack again.
Yeah.
Especially with that big of a brand. I know EA is probably sick to their stomach, you know what I mean, on the amount of sales that they lost because of that.
The game still sold well though, man.
Yeah, but you gotta think that I think the first game sold like 10 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Out the gate. And you know what I mean? I don't even know if they got close to that at all.
Yeah, I don't know what they sold. I know it sold well. But you're probably right. I don't think
it worse than the first one.
Oh, it did worse than the first one?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. But my point is it still like was profitable for them. But I see what you guys are saying. Like it didn't sell as well as the first one. So
did you hear it's all cosmetic now? It's gonna be all cosmetic now.
That's what I heard, yeah. That's what I heard.
I thought they couldn't change it. What do you know?
Chief, man, they can change anything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean that's just and this is the kind of thing that people should speak out against, is that fighting each other over who likes what, and again, like if you like Sea of Thieves, hey, more power to you. Have a blast, enjoy it. But don't
criticize everybody who's not into it. You know what I mean? Like if you enjoy it, go out there and have fun with it. You know what I mean? Do your thing, but don't try to put people down who aren't enjoying it or if the game is not for them. You know what I mean? So it's not necessary. Every game is not for everybody. Like
what's funny though? I saw someone say, "Oh, well, the reviewers are giving it bad reviews because they're not good at sailing the ships or something." I was
like, those guys. Oh man, the user reviews, they'd be giving it 0s and they'd be giving it 10s. Like, come on, let's be real. That's crazy. How can you give a game 0?
Wait, someone gave Sea of Thieves a 0?
Yeah, a lot of people did.
You mean like a reviewer did?
Yeah, no, well, user reviews.
Oh, I thought you meant like a like journalist. I'm like, damn, that's savage.
No.
Okay, so like that's just fanboy shit.
Yeah,
that's just fanboy shit. So I don't know, man. I just I look. There's definitely. I think we can all agree, right? Is there still hope?
I think there's definitely still hope for this game. I think if you give it a year's time, we look at it, same time next year, it'll probably be a different game, totally different experience, and there's probably definitely be more substance there. So, I mean, but we gotta see, man. We definitely gotta see.
I've heard that comparison.
Yeah,
a lot.
Paul.
Paul was it Paul Tassi from Forbes? I think wrote an article. Yeah, I
agreed with him. I think it's going to be like No Man's Sky. It's going to get a lot more content later on down the road, just like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, but even with No Man's Sky, like at least the planets were different.
Yeah, and Paul wasn't saying that the devs are lying. He wasn't saying that.
No, I understand what he was saying. He was saying that it's a game that didn't launch with a lot of meat per se. There wasn't a lot of variety in terms of missions or gameplay, and that the game eventually evolved and a kind of a smaller community formed around it. So, and I think that kind of makes sense. I think he thinks that's where he thinks that's what's going to happen. So, what's up, Jay Fonz?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, yes, sir. We can hear you, man.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I had to get some new equipment and stuff to even get online. So anyway, I'm sick too, so I'm under the weather. But I just wanted to come on for a few minutes and express my thoughts on Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, man.
Look, everybody knows that I don't. Well, the people that have listened to me know I don't like water-based games. I'm not into Black Flag. I'm not into acting like a pirate. I just don't like these boating type of games. It's just not for me. But that said, I was hoping that this game would be better for everybody else that is into that sort of thing. And I went into this today. I tried it for the first time today, and I tried to be as objective as possible, taking out the elements of sailing, which is 99% of the game, right? But the sailing aspects is probably the best part of the game. It's the water, is beautiful. The sunsets are gorgeous. The HDR in this game is on point. The problem I have with it is the fact that, like you guys were saying, it's sparse. There's not a lot going on. I went to one island, okay, where it looked like a lot was going to be going on. There was towers, there was like structures everywhere. Yeah. And I got onto the island, there was absolutely nothing there. No inhabitant, nothing. But there was fires going everywhere. So I'm thinking to myself, hit me at that time, because I had been playing for about 2 hours at that time. And I thought to myself, this game isn't finished. This is a game. This should be an early access game. And it just totally hit me that it just does not feel finished. Well, Jay, water, I didn't see any fish. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the combat in the game is mediocre at best, and I'm not saying it's terrible, but I'm saying it's very basic. Amen. The slash, it's like a button masher. It's like you just hit one button to slash with the sword or to pull the trigger and shoot. And it just doesn't feel satisfying. And then there's that like split second delay when you do kill something. It takes like a second for them to die. And I heard from Dealer, he told me that was because that is being run by the power of the cloud, and there's a delay. Yeah, that's why it looks like that.
You mentioned that to us on Wednesday too.
And that further tells me that is the issue with Crackdown 3, is that power of the cloud. If they're having delays, not killing a skeleton on an island, there's problems with Crackdown 3 multiplayer and all that destruction with the cloud.
Well, Jay, let me ask something. Like, a Dealer brought this up on Wednesday. We had him on. Like, what have they been doing for 4 years? That's what I want to know.
That was going to be my question to Jay.
That's the thing. It looks like they need another 4 years. To be honest, I mean, look, this game has so much potential. Me liking water-based games, I could put that aside, but I could look at it objectively. And to me, this game has a lot of missed opportunities. This game is a huge sandbox style game that is multiplayer, that is checking the right boxes, but the execution is poor. And it's just that they went into this game, Rare did, and Microsoft, and they decided to do something very, very stupid, in my opinion. And maybe some of you will disagree, but I think going after a cosmetic progression system is stupid and doesn't have legs, because in the long run, people are going to get tired of getting a peg leg or the same wooden leg or eye patch or whatever it is you get. I mean, you want stuff that has upgrades and stats in a game like this, or else why go after it?
Well, I think you want things that are going to help your character. I mean, getting a new one, like OBJ to Don said, I don't want to grind for an eye patch. It's not going to benefit my character. Doesn't do anything.
He's right. He's 100% right. And all this stuff hit me within only a couple hours of gameplay, because I've watched tons of gameplay on this game. So I've seen everything there is to do, but I played just to see the mechanics for myself, and just a lot of missed opportunities for sure. I think Rare has a dud on their hand as it stands, and Microsoft, to be honest, Game Pass is its saving grace. Without Game Pass, this game is sunk.
I think that's a great point. I think Game Pass is going to save this game, because people who have it, paying $10 whatever a month, are probably more likely to go back and try the game out if it improves.
Yeah, as it stands, the people that I can see playing this game right now are kids that want to run around, pretend to get drunk, throwing up on each other and doing all that crazy stuff you can do in the game. Just having fun with friends, just running around doing crazy stuff. Kids will play this all over Game Pass, and parents won't mind because, hey, it's $10 a month. My son will probably play it with his friends, but I don't see this having legs for adults like myself or other gamers that have the same type of like mind when it comes to video games. I don't think that we can look at this game objectively and say it has legs. It doesn't. Where is the end game here? The end game is supposed to be you becoming a legendary pirate. That is a cop out. That is just bullshit if I've ever heard it. The lamest thing I've ever heard. You become a legendary pirate. Well, do I get legendary shit? No, you get a peg leg. So what? I mean,
don't you become a legendary pirate in Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
At least there you have other elements and mechanics in the gameplay that are more fun. The sailing aspect in this game is awesome in that regard. Just because I don't like sailing games, I think that the mechanics here, there is something going for it on that boat. But that just, that's not going to save it. You need legs. You need to go after rewarding. You need rewards that mean something, and it just doesn't have those. It's all cosmetic, which is a bad move in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with most everything you just said, Jay. I mean, it's the cosmetic stuff isn't going to hold this game. At least I don't think it's going to hold the interest of a lot of gamers. I mean, look, all these people that are out here damage controlling, I give them 2 weeks and they're going to be like, yeah, we're not playing this anymore.
Yeah, I said next week when Far Cry 5's out, we'll see how many people's still playing Sea of Thieves.
Oh, well, I agree.
That's what I kind of said to Enrique. I was like, it's easy to kind of beat your chest when you're 2 or 3 days like out. Sort of like you're still in that honeymoon phase. But give it like 2 weeks or whatever, will you still be feeling the same? Because almost everybody's story is the same to me. Like I see it on Twitter. It's like, we were out on the horizon and we're going along, and all of a sudden, we were attacked, and we jumped down in the water and swam up the other side of the boat. And it's like, that's cool, but how long is that going to keep you engaged?
Yeah, and like I said, there's people out there that I do believe that really have fun with the game, and I'm cool with that. I don't have any problems with people saying they like it. I'm saying I do believe that the majority of people out there will not say the same thing. I think there's a lot of people who just don't see this game as having legs. And another thing I wanted to bring up too was the fact that this game, right now, it's I lost my train of thought. I'll think about it. You guys say something else, I'll think about it. There was something else I wanted to bring up about the game that's very important as well. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, continue.
Well, I would say to the people out there who are enjoying it, it's cool. And I do see people kind of just mind their own business, kind of reporting in, but the damage controllers need to stop kind of like jumping on people who are giving their thoughts and opinions on it. Because you get a dialogue going, those are things that help fix games.
Yeah. Oh, but I wanted to bring up, I remembered real quick, sorry, but I don't want to lose it. When people say, well, you know what, it's no fun to play by yourself. I get the fact that it's always fun to play games with other people, a game like this anyway. I get that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you can find no fun in the single player mode, when a game like this has a single player mode, but you can find no fun in it, there's a problem with the game. And there is no fun by myself in this game. The fun I could see having is with friends. And I hear people say that all the time. Well, you can't play it by yourself. It sucks by itself. You have to play with friends. Okay, I'll give you that. But at the same time, I could have fun with friends playing Uno on Party Chat.
And
I can have fun watching a pot of water boil on my stove while I'm on Party Chat.
Mm-hmm. And Enrique and B, remember months ago when we first started talking about this game, when they said it was on its way, what was one of the things we said? If your friends are not around, which everybody's schedules are kind of jacked up, and at times you kind of hope you can get everybody together, but if you can't, what do you do with the game when that happens? Yeah. Because in Destiny, while you may not get as far as you would with a whole crew, you can jump in there and keep kind of leveling up and messing around. And it's sort of they kind of need to address that. Something that you can continue to keep going in and doing alone.
I think they're relying way too much, and this speaks for a lot of games nowadays. They're relying way too much on Party Chat and the having a camaraderie with friends and talking online rather than building on games mechanics. And I'm seeing that more and more. And this is PUBG is another one. PUBG might be great to some people, but when I play it, It lacks in a lot of areas.
No, PUBG is amazing.
Oh, he's triggered. You triggered him.
You know what? No, you know what, Jay? It's because it's for Xbox gamers.
You don't have no friends.
It's not the fact that PUBG is a bad game, but the mechanics just don't feel as nice as some other shooters out there. It lacks. And basically it relies heavily on you being online with other people and working with a squad. It's just not, you know, a lot of games are doing this now. And Sea of Thieves is the epitome of it. It's like, if you are not with a squad and you are not playing and having fun, I mean, look at the stuff you get to do in here, throw up on each other and stuff, like stupid things like that.
Hey, don't forget dancing.
Blast with it. Making your character dance. That's the type of stuff they're trying to rely on with this game, and it's not going to work for somebody like me. It's not.
Well, then you also hear like these stories too, where people are like, you know, when you're going to matchmaker, like if you're not good enough for people that you kind of jump in with, they throw you in the brig.
Or if you're not a party chat with them, they can't hear you. Get in the brig. Right out of here. Try to force you out of there.
So how does that promote, you know, fun on the seas?
Well, Chief was cussed out.
They're working on that though.
Yeah,
they're working on that. So
they have to change that system. They have to change that because I mean, who's going to want to come jump in and be like, I'm in jail and nobody likes me?
But real quick, I mean,
that's why I play solo most of the time.
I just want to say something.
So you're enjoying it solo, Chief?
Yeah, somewhat.
Right.
He finds it to be tranquil. I just want to say something real quick with what Jay was mentioning about you know, PUBG, and you know, like the interesting thing is that there's so many other games that have a multiplayer component that are just better games. So you know, if I go back to the OG days of the Xbox and 360, you know, Microsoft was really, I think, leading the charge with, you know, console multiplayer type of games. But now there's too much competition out there now. They're not it on the block anymore. And Eric, I've said this to you, man. There's so much other content out there that's getting ready to drop. There's games like PUBG. I mean, I'd rather play PUBG than Sea of Thieves.
I don't want to say this, but I have to. I think Microsoft has lost something in the fact that they've lost some touch with gamers out there. I think that they think that the console is very or should be heavily focused on player, because that's the past, you know, with the 360 and stuff. But I think gamers have kind of evolved, and I think that for the most part, there's a lot of Xbox gamers that would appreciate single player games and that would appreciate good mechanics in these games, and not just something you can play online in party chat. You know, I think that's a problem right now.
Yeah, no, I think there's probably some truth to that. I mean, I think. But it's interesting because, you know, if we look at, you know, all three consoles are doing well. I mean, we've had Matt from NPD on the show. He said as much, you know, that, you know, despite even Microsoft's issues with first party content, they're still. I mean, the console's still doing well. I mean, it is. I mean, it's doing well for them. And it seems like perhaps maybe they've carved out a nice little, you know, group of the consumer base that, you know, wants those, you know, multiplayer experiences, wants to be in party chat all the time, and maybe they realize that, hey, you know, this is kind of our niche. This is the gamer profile that we're going to go after.
But
maybe that's it too. I mean, maybe and let's go ahead, man.
Chief says, you know, you play solo and you're having some fun with it solo, but how do you really feel like when you get onto the island and you shoot that gun, you kill a skeleton? Do you feel any reward from that? Like, is there satisfaction?
Hell no. I normally just run past them, honestly. I'm just trying to level up and see what the game offers, really. It's boring at times, but
does leveling
it's not supposed to be intense the whole time, you know.
But does leveling up do anything for you?
No, not a whole lot. I mean, you get better voyages.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Like, see, that's the problem I have with it. The progression system is really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you find a piece of gear, you know, a piece of loot, you know, even if it was a peg leg, if it had a +5 to running or something, you know, a stat that helped your character, I would understand it. But man, just picking up and saying, "Oh, look at me, I got a peg leg." So what? We can all get that.
You get 5 different colors of that peg leg.
Any different weapons or any different guns in the game?
Yeah, and there's different like boots and like beards and hairstyles you can get, like fancy belt buckles.
Yeah.
From what I hear, there's like a shotgun and a sniper rifle, and you know, alongside the pistol, but nothing that's really crazy or to make you really say, "Oh, I got to get that gun. That's awesome." You know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's got to be competitive, or it's got to be narrative focused. You know,
no narrative in this game. I mean, really, it's just like fetch quests, nothing but fetch quests.
Yeah,
well, there are people that are arguing that it doesn't need a story system.
No, there's people that are arguing that you just don't have an imagination.
Oh God. I'm sorry, I'm not 7 years old. I'm still role playing.
You know, that you're like a like what was it, like Pansy Gamer or something like that. Someone I saw earlier, it was like,
and you know, I've seen, as far as I've seen, and this is personally and from what I've seen watching videos as well, the only things that I've seen that you can pick up are literally cannonballs, bananas, and planks. Like, you know, it's like that's it.
Yep.
So like all the stuff that's in the beta.
Yeah, and they took out some stuff from, you know, what they showed, I guess, last year with like Dealer was talking about how they had dolphins and stuff.
Yeah. And there's no Kraken. It's only his tentacles.
Tentacles. Yeah.
Yeah, as Dealer was calling him, sea dicks.
Yeah, Dealer's really upset with the game.
Yeah, he mentioned that on Wednesday. He's like, and he's the one that brought up the 4-year thing. Like, he's like, what were they doing for 4 years? Like, why didn't think about that? That's actually a good point.
They're making their studio fancy, buying like 6-foot statues and shit.
You know, and they're
counting their eggs before they hatch, pretty much.
Yeah, and you know, for me, the concern too, and I mentioned this earlier, is Rare. I mean, Rare for me is a story developer who, you know, I go back to the days of the Nintendo Entertainment System playing RC Pro-Am and playing GoldenEye, Killer Instinct, and Conquer and Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong. I mean, all these great franchises, and it's almost like they're a shell of themselves.
Well, this isn't that Rare anymore, though.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Steve, it sounds like you're in a wind tunnel again, man.
Well, this is a Rare that, you know, is going on MNC in the morning, so got to tell you something.
Yeah, well, you know, times are tough sometimes, man. You got to do what you got to, I guess, you know. You got to spark some interest, I guess. I don't know.
What's going on with that Ubisoft pirate game, Skull and Bones?
Hopefully that's dog shit too. No, I'm just kidding.
Because I mean, we've heard nothing about it since they showed it at E3, right?
It's a pirate game. Like,
Jay, you remember everybody's like, "Oh shit, Sea of Thieves, better watch out."
Yeah, everyone say that. Like, Sea of Thieves gonna be garbage. Watch out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. People might be like, you know what? This whole pirate thing, we're done. You know,
we may look back at this and say, you know what? Remember that time when developers try to make good pirate games? They just sucked.
Look, if Microsoft continues to back this game, which they should, because like I said, it's in Game Pass. I think that's going to save it.
Yeah.
And, a bunch of little kids are going to love this. And I think that it'll be saved there. And I think that in the future, it could possibly, you know, have more content for people to really get into this game. And I hope it does. But it's just not for me, you know, as it stands right now. It's an early access game. That's about as good as it is.
Yeah, they should have put it in their program, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it could be a wholly different game, like in a few months or a year.
Because look at it this way: if it was in early access, nobody would be complaining. Nobody.
Well, somebody would be finding a way to complain.
Well,
I would complain,
you know, but I never know. But you'd be hard pressed to really complain. You'd be like, hey, it is what it is. It's in an early access, you know.
Yeah, when PUBG came out, you know, everybody was saying, "Well, it's in early access," but now, you know, later, they're like, you know, screw Bluehole. They're not doing shit for this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Jeez, man.
Let's look at the PC port. How long did that take to get 1.0? Like, come on.
Yeah. Yep, took a minute. So
over a year.
Well,
you know what they need? They need Peter Pan DLC.
Oh my God, Eric! I can't believe you just said Peter Pan DLC, man.
I mean, they definitely need something, man. They need Jaws. They need something in there.
He said Jaws. Jaws.
Spice it up, man.
This is a vast ocean, and they don't have fish in the ocean. Like, that's crazy to me.
Hey, they got 3 types of fish. Okay.
I haven't seen one yet, though.
Yeah, they do have
They
like
should have anglerfish. They should have blowfish in there. They should have swordfish. They should have anything that makes it dangerous for you to be in the water.
I haven't seen. You know what's interesting? I saw more sharks in the beta than I did in the retail release.
Yeah, more loot too.
Yeah, what happened to the sharks?
Is that like a server load thing?
Who knows?
Maybe it is, man.
Hey guys, I got to run, but I just wanted to jump on for a few minutes and rant a little bit about Sea of Thieves because, yeah, it's got issues and it needs serious work. But thanks for hearing me out, guys.
No, Jay, but hey, it was great having you back on, man. It's been a minute, man, since you've been on BRAP. So great to hear you again, man. Got to get you back on, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Have a good night, guys.
You too, Jay. Yeah,
that
so
said, Enrique, you jumping on Sea of Thieves tonight?
No,
me.
Unless Lord King,
you jumping on?
I think Chief said he's jumping on. Chief, are you jumping on?
Yeah, I'm jumping on.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't feel like. I just don't. I'll fall asleep, man. I'm telling you. I'll get on that ship. I'll fall asleep. I'll be like Kofi.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Kofi was right. He was wild for that one, man.
Dude,
Kofi got the whole palette ready to go, man.
Kofi had a pillow and a blanket.
Hey,
I'm like,
Kofi looked like nursery, like nursery school nap time.
Yeah.
Oh man, that might have been one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
How about the Xbox? Love that shit.
Oh man.
Oh, he gets so much hate, but you know the guy's dead on with stuff, man. Usually, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dreamcast guy was getting a lot of hate. I think it was today.
Oh, was it?
Xbox are going after him. Yep.
Jeez, man, people need to stop going after people. If you like it, cool.
Man,
at the end of this, what matters.
How do you feel about Rand's review?
I mean, Rand gave it a 7.
Yeah, Rand came back and gave it a 7.
He came back and he originally gave it an 8, and then came back and said, "Well, you'd have to, reading some other reviews and looking back at some other reviews I've done." Because I went back and changed it to a 7. Which
it's funny, man, because when Rand's positive, he gets retweets up the ass. Like I see it all through my timeline. When he's a little negative, you'll see it's like crickets. Like, nah, we're not sending out that message.
Yeah. Irrelevant, man. You've been quiet in the live chat, man. Oh my, Irrelevant name says Xbox and pony terminology, how boring. Get a vocabulary too. Yeah, says Irrelevant fraud. Yeah, so you know what, guys, I don't have anything else to say about Sea of Thieves unless you guys want to add any additional thoughts.
No, because I mean, like I said, while I was gonna rock with it in Game Pass, but after seeing like some feedback from it, I was kind of like, I can wait. Like I think I saw enough in the beta for now.
You saw everything in the beta.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, as they continue to update us with the player count. You know what I mean? Like, if people tried it on Game Pass and figured out it wasn't for them, if, they kind of back away from it. And
you think they're going to do that? They're going to give us the player count?
I mean, they let us know if there's a million players, touching the game. So we just have to see how often they update us. I mean, they've been updating us with PUBG every time they hit a milestone. So we'll have to see how soon the milestone, gets hit. How soon they hit 2 million.
Well, there you go, B. If it's high, there'll be a report.
Right.
If it's low and it's nothing, you won't hear anything.
Yep.
That's just kind of how it goes. I mean, it makes sense, but that's just kind of how it goes,
Yeah.
It makes
sense. You remember they said over 1 million
people
people downloaded Phantom Dust.
Yeah, and like, heard nothing about it since.
It was a free download. I mean,
so you didn't hear about 2 million or 3 million.
Right. And that's an impressive feat. That 1 million plus people, checked out, Sea of Thieves and Game Pass or whatever, because that's what it's meant to, to be there for. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see if that number maintains, goes higher. I don't foresee it going higher until there's more content.
Yeah, like I said earlier, that they'll just have to remarket the game every time there's a major update.
3 months.
Yeah, every 3 months or so.
Yeah.
So they said the next content drop will be in like 3 months.
Yeah, E3,
big one.
At E3.
That's another reason to bring Sea of Thieves back on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Give him 5 minutes, and explain a big update. Relaunch the game.
They're gonna add pets and merchants for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or a merchant. We'll see.
Well, yeah, the promising thing is they said all DLC will be free except for the pets and stuff like that. That'll be like microtransaction stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, I mean, so that's promising. Whatever content updates drop in there, even in Game Pass, they'll be free.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this BRAP rant. Just want us to give a big shout out to Jay Fonzarelli, who was here for a couple minutes, and also big shout out to Chief Tommy, man. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, man. Great having you on. Finally, I guess kind of nice to meet you, person, kind of.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Yeah, so definitely.
Thanks for letting my voice be heard. Appreciate it, man.
No, man, absolutely, man. Anytime, man. We'll get you back on, man, and talk some more video games. So, B Money and Eric, man, always a pleasure, gentlemen. Glad you guys get to hop in.
Last minute there.
What's that?
So I was glad I was able to jump in last minute. I saw you guys were still on, so let me rock my boys real quick.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Trashing these too much.
I was telling these guys earlier, Eric. I don't know if you saw Kid Smooth's live stream of Bloodborne.
No, I didn't see the live stream, but I saw him acting like he won the NBA Finals and that off of the third boss. So, oh man,
was it the third boss?
Yeah, isn't that the one that's in the church inside the church?
Victor Amelia. Yeah. Which could be, a formidable boss if you're not at the right level, but
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's got a bit of a ways to go.
Yeah, he was.
Was that you?
Is that a new game?
No, the game.
That's old, isn't it?
Yeah, it came out
Bloodborne.
2015, right?
2015. Yep.
Yeah.
What's up with all the hype around it? I don't understand. Is it a remaster or something?
No. It was free and plus this month. And that's a highly regarded game. So
you guys know that Sony owns the IP to that?
Yeah, Sony owns it. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's Chief. It's probably one of the best new IPs this console gen, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's if you're a fan of Dark Souls,
I was a fan.
Yeah, you'll like this game, man. It's definitely I think the combat's a little bit quicker than Souls.
Yeah,
it's like an action version of a Souls game.
Yeah.
Movement's a lot quicker. It's about offense more so than defense.
Right.
That's a great point.
I played the first two.
Mm-hmm.
I love the first two, and the third one, I couldn't finish it. I just got bored.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, check out Bloodborne.
Yeah, if you can, Chief, man.
I switched to the Xbox, and I had hardly any friends on the Xbox. So I had nobody to play with.
Yeah. Well,
that's odd because you usually hear Xbox guys say that how lonely PlayStation is. And I said it's all dependent upon how long you've been in one ecosystem.
Right.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it's empty. Yeah, it's empty if that's not where you really spend a lot of time.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So if you can, Chief, man, definitely. I don't know if it's still free, but definitely pick it up, man.
Yeah, it's free until the end of. Well, actually, it'll be free until the 7th of next month.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
ain't got no time for that, man.
I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah. Anybody got time for that? That's funny, man. Yeah. So, all right. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat. OBJ to Don, the relative native. Nelson Coney was in the house a little bit. If I'm forgetting anyone, I apologize. But again, thanks for hanging out with us this evening for this BRAP rant on Sea of Thieves, and we'll keep an eye out on us on Twitter. We may have a special guest announcement for next week's show that goes live Wednesday 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But everyone have a great weekend gaming, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.